Joining me now to talk about his run for Warner Robins mayor is Mr. Chuck Chalk. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here, Ashley.
I guess that would be our first question. You know, you ran 4 years ago, unfortunately unsuccessful, but what made you want to get in the game again?
Well, years ago when I was considering how to move into a political arena and move into a greater area of public service, you never really think that on your first go out you're going to do so well, and we did very well. So it was always a two-race proposition. And the door is still open, obviously, with no incumbent, so we're ready to go out and do it.
All right, and let's talk a little bit about you. You're a retired second lieutenant from the Air Force, and now you're a civilian-based employee. I'd say you probably care a bit or two about Robins Air Force Base. So, that being said, aside from that, where else does the leadership in Warner Robins need to focus now?
Well, one small correction, I'm a retired major.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
I was enlisted and an officer in the Air Force for 20 years and now a civil servant. So yes, I do understand Robins Air Force Base. I've worked at several of the large organizations, and Robins is very important. We need to continue to support that, but we need to start looking at diversifying what we do in the Middle Georgia region, in the Robins region, whether that be in Warner Robins. I want to see that grow. I think we can see it grow. I see great opportunities ahead of us. And then, of course, working with regional partners to just bolster the region so that Robins is strong, but all the industry around Robins is very strong.
Specifically, you said you see growth in Warner Robins. You know, what are some of your specific ideas to make the city continue to grow?
Well, I've said it over and over again. If you do something really well, start doing that differently. If we do aerospace logistics very well, then let's start moving into some commercial avenues for that. We have the Savannah port that's going to open up here in a couple years. It's going to bring in a lot of logistics opportunities. We have a good use runway. We have land use that's available to us. We have a knowledgeable workforce, both coming out of the schools, which are great, but also coming off retirement that are great. So we have great opportunities there to build off our strengths.
You are up against some very experienced and proven leaders. So if you had to pick one quality that sets Chuck Chalk apart from the rest, what would you say that is and why?
I would say it's my Air Force experience. That includes both the leadership experience, the education that I've earned in the Air Force, and just understanding how a DoD operation works to the best of my knowledge, and then applying that.
All right. And one last question for you. You've spelled out a pretty detailed vision. You talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but if you had to sum it up in a few seconds, what would you say your overall vision is for the city of Warner Robins if elected?
Customer-focused government, financial responsibility and economic growth, and then community. We got to establish community.
All right, Mr. Chalk, great to have you on. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, and don't forget, you don't have to wait until November 5th to cast your ballot for mayor and council. Early voting is happening at City Hall Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It ends next Friday, November 1st.